the idea of working in initially a television environment was one that was very stimulating for me. So that was initially the interest, and then as I was first approached about the job and then looked more into the organisation, obviously it's an incredibly entrepreneurial organisation, sort of big in as much as it's New York Stock Exchange listed, etc., but small in as much as the organisation is family run and nimble in its ability to turn around and make decisions and kind of react to marketplace conditions. Where WWE kind of comes from is from a history of regional wrestling promotions, if you like. From and it's a historic tradition ultimately within the US that there are a huge number of wrestling promotions that operate on a region by region basis. And Vince's third generation, his grandfather before him, and then his father as well, both worked in the industry. Vince, when he acquired the company from his father, revolutionised it by basically taking what was a regional promotion and making it a national promotion. I think ultimately Vince has been hugely the impetus behind the development of the organisation, without any shadow of doubt. His vision to do what he did, I think, was something that only an individual like him would have had the vision to do, and then B, the ability to do it, because it's all very well having an idea, but being able to take that idea and actually turn it into reality when you are dealing with a huge number of very strong characters on a talent basis, as well as strong characters you're selling your product to. It would take a unique individual, I think, to be able to do that. Well, I think the focus with our brand is entertainment. We're an entertainment brand rather than a sports brand, and I think people understanding that we are a action soap opera as opposed to a kind of out there regional wrestling promotion, I think is fundamental. And the fact that we have been able to produce this 52-week-a-year ongoing storyline basically was something that really did create a mainstream property rather than being a one-off here today, gone tomorrow property. I mean, it was difficult in as much as there was a huge amount of focus and effort to change from WWF to WWE. We'd always had the E in our name. Our New York Stock Exchange listing was WWFE, so the WWF was more the sort of brand name out there. But it was huge undertaking from what we were able to do with our archive content, where we had to pixelate out every single scratch WWF logo that was in any one of our frames. So you see a man in the front row with a WWF t-shirt on, had to be pixelated, and you'll see that on archive programming today. And it was obviously a huge undertaking, but the key, I think, from WWE's perspective was doing it very quickly and just embracing the change, and because there was no point, and it was incredibly difficult to fight it. We obviously lost the battle in the courts and had to make the change, and it's just embracing the change and making the change very quickly. We are a global company. I mean, we are on air in 145 countries, 30 different languages. We distribute 8,000 hours of content each year. So we are already in a very well established global entity. There are a couple of markets which we continue to sort of have to work on to develop further. And there can be cultural issues, people. And it's normally not about a fan; it's normally about a gatekeeper perception. And it's the challenge for us as an organisation is to often overcome the misconceptions and sort of prejudices of the people who hold the keys ultimately to us being able to enter markets. They can be acquisitions executives at television channels. They can be regulatory authorities, etc. And we have to work to educate, because once you educate someone that this isn't a wrestling promotion, what this is an entertainment television show, an action telenovela, if you like, a soap opera that runs 52 weeks a year and is a PG-rated entertainment show. Once that education process happens, and once we get on air in a market, we often, pretty much every single time, will see a very successful outcome. You see the programming on air, and you see at the consumer touch point, if you like, in stores, the WWE superstars in the Mattel range, in our books, in our publishing business, magazines, our DVD business, etc. There is a huge raft of consumer products that are very important to what we do, because it allows the fan to interact with WWE beyond our television programming into our other businesses. And further to that, then that's what live events are very strong at doing. It gives the fan again the chance to see the programming that they see on air each and every week in the flesh by attending a live event. So we tour twice a year in the UK in April and November each year. We have multiple date tours around the country that enable those fans to really access the WWE superstars on a sort of first-hand basis. We're very lucky. Through our live events, we have the ability to take a reading from our fans about what they think about parts of our brand on a week-to-week, day-to-day basis. If a talent and what we're doing with a talent isn't going very well, the fans let you know. And so WWE are very good, very responsive to that focus group, if you like. It's a 15,000 people focus group twice a week. And so what that means is that you understand what you're being told by the audience and you respond to it. And I think that is key to really react to your consumer needs and wants.